Okay, so during Game Informer's cover story trip to Ubisoft Bordeaux in France, the individual hands-on experience, including getting to explore Baghdad and of course engaging in contracts, which were the side activities found within the game. And so in this video, I'm going to be showcasing some side activity gameplay released by Game Informer, as well as breaking down what they have to say about the overall experience of the new side activities in the game. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. Well, the first thing they mention is that exploring Baghdad was a very enjoyable experience, as it invoked a spiritual reimagining of Jerusalem from Assassin's Creed 2007, the very first AC game, offering numerous rooftops and parkour opportunities to navigate between objectives. However, the latter, involving completing contracts, stood out as the highlight of their gaming session. 3 contracts were undertaken during their hands-on time, each corresponding to different stages of Basim, Mirage's main antagonist, progression. Contracts essentially functioned as mini-missions involving tasks such as eliminating a target, obtaining specific items, or performing actions like relocating a boat to a designated area. The process entailed scouting the area, locating the target, planning the most discreet and efficient approach, of course given Basim's emphasis on stealth and agility, and then executing the mission, whether it meant eliminating a target or securing an item. So the first contract, undertaken quite early in Basim's journey, lasted no more than 10 minutes, while a late game contract consumed nearly half an hour of their time. These contracts resembled condensed assassination scenarios, similar to the versions of levels seen in IO Interactive's World of Assassination, the Hitman trilogy. Now, to initiate contact, you simply had to retrieve it from the contract board at the Hidden Ones Bureau, which we saw in an earlier gameplay reveal. Each contract was associated with a distinct faction within Baghdad, and completing them was crucial for improving one's standing with these factions. Now, of course, with the World of Baghdad mini-series we got given by Ubisoft, we know there are 4 main districts within Baghdad, and I can guess each one of those will have certain missions surrounding that environment and the characters within them. Zafan Boudon, the creative director of Mirage, explained that these factions played a role in granting rewards and favors. Players also acquired special tokens used for bribing city speakers known as Mundai, as well as entertainers who could divert the attention of guards and more, very reminiscent of the NPCs we used in Assassin's Creed 2. We don't emphasize that participating in contracts was optional, but players might find them indispensable once they've discovered the benefits. Additionally, these contracts added an enjoyable dimension to Basim's role as an assassin in training outside the main storyline. Now, a noteworthy feature was the ability to collect all available contracts from the board simultaneously. This approach suited players who probably preferred the flexibility of completing contracts when convenient during their exploration or main storyline progress. I mean, I for one kind of like the idea of having to go back to your main base to get another mission. You know, it really does make you feel like an assassin going through the world and trying to gain rank. Simon Arsenault, the world and quest director, noted that some contracts were interrelated and could be pursued in parallel, offering more activities to explore. Players who choose to pick up all available contracts at once could expect to have 4 or 5 contracts to tackle simultaneously. Since each contract contributed to a broader faction narrative unfolding within Baghdad, completing an entire line brought the most substantial rewards. For example, the individual recounted their experience of collecting trinkets and special goods from the merchant Dervis, which resulted in access to valuable items for purchase. While the development team emphasized the optional nature of contracts, the individual found them to be a highly enjoyable and rewarding experience, solidifying their intention to pursue them actively in their playthrough, and I for one am excited for this. Now, if you cast your mind way back when Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Odyssey, and of course Origins came out, side activities sort of came at a cost. You had to level up your character to even progress through the main storyline, and I for one hated that. It was annoying to have to get to a really good point in a story and then have to diverge and do some absolute random and sometimes very boring side missions just to be able to even progress on. And then let's say you have a couple hours more with the missions, with the main missions, you then have to stop again and then go back and redo this mission just to get the levels required, and I for one did not like that. So to actually have the choice to, yeah, okay, you can do these side activities if you want. They will give you some extra items and of course valuables that you can sell, get money, that sort of thing, but it's completely optional, and that is so good to see back in this game. As for their comment about them being very similar to some smaller levels of Hitman games, that's great. gameplay? Will we be given different objectives and optional objectives to kind of figure out how to do it, i.e. black book missions? That we have yet to see, but maybe, just maybe, we might get some more look and gameplay at that once all the people that got to play the game early give us some new gameplay, because I know you're all waiting for it, I'm all waiting for it. The game comes out in under a month, we want more gameplay. We do. Ubisoft, if you're listening, give us it, that's all we want. But what's also good about them is how well they correlate to the main storyline of Mirage. Of course, we're going to start playing as Basim in the main game early on as this street thug, this rogue, this thief that gets brought into the Brotherhood, and we do have to work our way up within the ranks and having to help out the citizens of Baghdad where we will primarily be working. It's great to see. We can use the environments, we can meet people, we can make relationships with these NPCs that we haven't been able to do in the recent RPG titles. I mean, how many of you remember Steed Bonnet from Assassin's Creed 4, or Achilles Davenport from Assassin's Creed 3, or of course the man himself, Leonardo da Vinci from Assassin's Creed 2? And it sounds bad, but that is where I first found out about Leonardo da Vinci, from Assassin's Creed 2. So all we know is that many people will be meeting historical figures for the first time in this game, and they won't be bored by it. They won't have to go out of their way to do it, and it's really exciting to finally see that within Assassin's Creed again. So guys and girls, I'm also running a giveaway for 2 copies of the deluxe edition for Assassin's Creed Mirage. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning one is make sure you like the video, comment down below whether or not you are excited for Mirage, and if so, why, and also make sure you subscribe for more Assassin's Creed Mirage content. And before I end the video, I am just going to play out the full Game Informer gameplay we got unedited, so you can sit back and watch that with all the sounds and everything you want. So guys and girls, without further ado, here's some uncut gameplay from Game Informer of Assassin's Creed Mirage.
But this is more like Hold X to kind of parkour and circles parkour down. But the world is like built way better for parkour compared to the recent entries, in my opinion. The recent entries are these giant open world sandboxes. They're not designed to parkour the same way one singular city is. But I noticed around Baghdad there's you kill 5, I think, at once. I am not like surprised by what Mirage is, but I had a good time playing it. It's kind of exactly what I had hoped and thought it would be. It's very much still feels like Assassin's Creed of late. Anywhere you look in Baghdad, you can kind of see like a line to parkour. And I was testing that quite a few instances, just, you know, trying to hit it from like front to back, run around and see if I could do it differently. And it's fun like carving your own little path through the city. I feel like in Valhalla and Odyssey and Origins, you can kind of climb everything, and the parkour is just there because it's Assassin's Creed and we have parkour. Whereas here it feels built around Baghdad specifically, which I like.
There is my target.
They feel like these big diorama puzzles where if you fail, it's like, okay, I'm gonna reload and I'm making my line, almost like I'm speed running. And like, how can I be as efficient as possible taking these out? And the levels themselves are really neat because the first contract there's a lot of cool stuff there, but I think when you like boil it down to its core, like you have to know how to escape, you have to know how to hide when it's appropriate. A gatehouse blocking the canal, and so before you could steal a boat, and the sub goal was to be undetected. It was this game of verticality and figuring out which guards to take out in which way, so that you could hit a lever and open up, release the gates, so you could then jump into the water, get on the boat, and steer it out and steer it to this secret cove to complete the mission. That stuff was really cool because it wasn't just go assassinate this person, right?
Something that, I mean, we've only played 3 contracts, which are like not even story content, so I don't want to speak to the story, but like these contracts showed a pretty clear dedication to the stealth focus that the series was born out of, and that's probably what I'm most excited about.
One thing I really like about the levels in this game, it's the open aggroing everything you see, which you could do in like the last 3 games to pretty high success and still have a really good time.